who I met because of this little bracelet. This is Autism Awareness Month nationally. I don't know if you know that. That's why we're having this workshop. And there was actually an Autism Awareness Day that has come and gone. It was back a couple weeks ago. And it was really nice. It's Orange County Autism Association, and they had a wonderful celebration in the park, and they had a giant celebration, hundreds of people there. But Matthew weighed in on their website with a really nice thing affirming them for doing that, and then he put a link to a YouTube. And there's something about it was really eloquent, but very humble and nice, gentlemanly. But you know, some people, when they just put a little posting, a blurb, you can tell, I'd like to know that guy, it's pretty cool. Well, I clicked his YouTube. And you know how that is, you never know what you're going to get there, right? But his YouTube was amazing. It was charming and nice. In fact, in the first few seconds of it, he goes, now I know you get ads at the first of YouTube, so this is not an ad, I promise you, but if you want to click off, go ahead and click off just like you do. It was really good. But he said, but if you stay, I got something to share that I think it might be good and it might be helpful. And so I'm not going to steal Matthew's thunder other than just to tell you this. It was good. It made me watch your other ones too. And he's going to tell us what life's like from the other side. That's why this is called a Disability Wisdom Workshop, because we want wisdom of knowing how to relate from both sides, don't we? So Matthew 𝐾𝐨𝐬 is from Orange County here, and he's an amazing young man. I want you to come and just share anything and everything that you'd like to share with us. Let's give him a hand. Yeah, you sure could. You want right here?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good. Okay. So I'm Matthew 𝐾𝐨𝐬, and I have Asperger's syndrome, which is a mild form of autism. And it was something that I was diagnosed with when I was about 6 years old, and I was also diagnosed with a speech delay when I was 3 years old. Listening back to my home videos when I was younger, it was hard to understand what I was saying. In school, starting in elementary school, I took speech therapy, and that really helped a lot and improved enunciation. And I also had that coupled with RSP, which stands for Resource Specialist Program, and that lasted all throughout high school. And it was a good resource for me and all of us, other friends that I made who were in RSP. And it helped us with tests and studying, and we studied together, we did homework together. It was a class as well. And so, over at OCC, I have testing accommodations, which is very nice because intrinsically, what could be hard for everybody else could become easy to me, but contrastingly, what's easy for everybody else could be hard for people like me, and we could be slow to understanding things. However, we could take something that we like in school, a subject, it could be history, it could be chemistry or another discipline of science, or something. If we really take an interest in that, we could really expand on it, do extra research, extra learning beyond what is taught in the classroom. And for me personally, it's the presidents, and ever since, especially middle school, and today it's also science, a lot of science. Periodic table, which I had the elements memorized on July 21st, 2014, and recalling dates as well. Not every date, though. However, of course, Asperger's and autism comes with their pros and their cons, and some of the not-so-good effects, using my personal experience, is number one, the testing. Reading could be a struggle. It takes longer for me to read. My analogy that I came up with is couple of years ago is that if people could read, let's say 100 pages an hour, I could read maybe 5 pages an hour. It's hard to shut off my mind a lot, whether I'm reading or whether I'm trying to go to sleep. And throughout my life, in honesty, I could go to bed and then be asleep within 2 or 3 hours later or so, because I just can't shut off my mind. And I'm rehearsing scenarios, questions that I can ask people, maybe so that I won't stutter, or that I would stutter less when I actually have those conversations. And sometimes I just can't get them out of my mind until it's finished. And so that brings another thing. I tend to finish what I start, not just in what I'm thinking, but also if I start on an art project, a writing project, or something, I could start maybe in the evening and then finish several hours later, late at night. Because once I get started, I could be lost, especially if it's as a catharsis, like drawing and such. I've always loved drawing, too, I might as well. I draw almost anything. I drew quite a few series of presidents. This is just one of them, of President Lincoln, and I have one of all 45, well, 44 men. Cleveland served twice. And then anatomy. This is what really got me known in my anatomy class. My anatomy teacher brought it home to his family and friends around the dinner table, and his friends said he's very good at the computer. And then my anatomy teacher scoffed and said, no, he did that by hand. And he took a closer look, and then the heart is my favorite organ, because I know a lot about it, as well as drawing it and such. And those are hobbies that I do, but like the hearts, I drew like 4 pictures. That took 2 days. This took 2 days. And once I get started, it's hard to stop. But I've always loved art, and friends knew that. And some of my very good friends encouraged me to make a card company business. So in 2009, July 18th, I officially started a card company. I draw a lot of my designs right here, and I've been selling them since December 21st, 2009. Alas, it's been on hiatus for the past few years because I can't get the cardstock anymore as of now, but this is like what I have left, and I have Resurrection Day designs and other holidays and seasons as well. So, innately, it is easy for me to be bashful. So just a little shy, and it took a while before I became my own advocate, which really helped or really proliferated or multiplied in high school, is when I really started going up to people, whether they're peers or whether they're teachers, and just saying basically like, this is what I have, who I am, and just asking for help and such. We could misinterpret and misconstrue a few things, from facial expressions to how people act. And in my perspective, I try my best to act or conform to what is expected socially. Like if I want to make sure if someone says something that's supposed to be funny or supposed to not be funny, I'm trying to match my countenance to what they expect. And I do try hard to do that. And also, I try to maintain eye contact as well, and because it's easy for us, whether we're in the classroom or outside of the classroom, taking a test, or just talking to people, it's easy for me to notice something in my peripheral vision, and see something outside or somewhere close by. Also, everything has to be done correctly and in its order, so I think that's where the OCD is. I do blame obsessive-compulsive disorder for that, and everything needs to be symmetrical, which, by the way, I do say, give my okay to that. Accepting what I'm saying, that's, because if something is out of order somewhere or unsymmetrical outside, then I'm one of the first people to notice and such. And I do like symmetry and such, and it helps me to concentrate. Everything has to be placed or stacked in the right way. Books have to be stacked on the shelves, or papers have to be folders have to be stacked in itself. So that's easy for. That makes it easy for me to like concentrate and such. So contrastingly, some of the good parts of Asperger's and autism is that we could take some subjects that we're interested in, or piano, and just excel in it, and especially if it's something that we're interested in. Perseverance, assiduousness, so loving to learn. I've been a part of HALO, Healing Autism Through Learning and Opportunity, since their first year, June 10th, 2012, and I appeared in every annual since. And I just go, I juggle for them, I talk about who I am simultaneously, and then I usually walk over and play something on the piano. I also juggle for a couple of classes at a few elementary, or a couple of elementary schools of the district that I'm near. And I've been telling these to hundreds of people in the past few years, especially children, is to never give up on their passions. The common question, and even today at my church, someone asked me that, or someone asked me this, what don't you do? And whenever anyone asks that, which I get a lot, is I immediately say surfing and skateboarding. That's something I just don't know how it's possible to keep your balance on those things, but or anything skiing, or at least as of now or so. So there's lots of things that I can't do, but I just never given up on my passions. Everybody has a calling from God. Everybody has different passions, and other people's passions may not be the same as the person sitting next to you, or my passions, but my encouragement is to, wherever anyone is at, is to never give up on your passions, because if I could do it, then certainly you can too. And I've been telling that to children in the past few years. I also am a part of Royal Rangers, which is affiliated with the Assemblies of God Church, established in 1962. I'm in my 18th year, my 5th year being a commander. I started when I was 5 in September 2000, and I became a commander on Wednesday, September 11th, 2013. And for the past 5 years, it's just been a joy giving back and helping people. It's sort of like scouting, Boy Scouts, but it's also a Christian perspective, Christian Bible merits and such.
Wow.
And I'm very thankful, because I have no idea where I would be without Rangers. Royal Rangers. Yeah, Royal Rangers, yeah. And on September 8th, 2013, I was awarded the Gold Medal of Achievement, which is an Eagle Scout equivalent. Favorite scripture, besides Philippians 4:13, which is a favorite scripture of mine, is also Philippians 1:6. Being confident of this very thing, that he which hath begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. And one of my other favorite scriptures is found in one of my favorite books, Habakkuk. And in Habakkuk 3:18 it says, "Yet I will rejoice in the Lord, I will joy in the God of my salvation. Yet I will rejoice in the Lord." So despite all any turmoil or tribulation that anybody faces, whether they are on the autistic spectrum or if they're not on the autistic spectrum, there's lots of things that anyone could deal with. Yet I will rejoice in the Lord, and I will joy in the God of my salvation. Habakkuk 3:18. Thank you very much.
I have one regret about Matthew, that I didn't ask him to bring his juggling stuff. That would be great. I saw on YouTube, though. You can look at it, and he's good. He is. But what I did prevail upon him to do in a few moments when we close is that he's going to play a song for us on the piano. By the way, he's too modest to tell you the other things he does, but I'll tell you one of them, because I can't long divide. He can do advanced calculus just all day long. He could go to MIT and do it. I mean, but he won't tell you that. But it's a wonderful thing. And Matthew, once more, what a blessing. We can do this two ways, but it's best for us to wind up now. But if you would like to share a little bit of something that you've